What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. As usually, you already know what it is. I am super excited to be making this video, just like I'm excited to make every single video for you guys. Last video, the part 1 for this video, which I'm gonna queue up here, we broke 100 likes within literally 24 hours, which is really incredible. That's the fastest I've ever broken 100 likes. Thank you guys. You guys are incredible. Let's break 100 likes within 24 hours with this one, because the part 2, I'm actually going to show you guys my screen and my whole process. So throughout this whole reveal, I'm gonna actually make it super uncut, just so that you guys actually do see how I truly do my scans and my edits and all that type of stuff, so that it's 100% transparent. Because I know in the last video things were kind of vague, like, okay, add like these colors, where am I adding them, where are you adding them, to the skin tones. Yes, for some people they did understand, but for some other people they did not understand. But I'm going to be covering that today, right now. So I'm pretty excited to be actually doing that. I'm gonna switch over to my screen and I'm gonna show you guys my screen, and let's get this edit done. It's going to be on one of the photos that I've actually done before, one of my recent photos. So I'm super pumped, I'm super excited. And again, guys, drop a like, drop a comment down below if you love these type of videos, and I would love to create them. And if you love the tutorial that I'm about to show you guys right now, let's break 100 likes in 24 hours. I'm pretty sure you guys can do it. I'm pretty sure. I fuck with you guys. You guys are so incredible. And yeah, let's get this video on the roll. I'm so amped. I love this type of shit. Okay, so I did forget to say one thing before we switch over to the screen, that when I do my scans, guys, my scans are usually as flat as possible, without completely flattening the photo, like completely, just sort of like doing the most minimal adjustments, trying to get a little bit of the color in there. It's not really, it's pretty much flat. That's pretty much it, and you guys are gonna see right now. So do your scans flat, and don't try to get all the colors in the saturation. And also, guys, this is a big key. Avoid doing like noise reduction or like color correction on Epson. If you're using Epson or any of your programs, avoid doing any of those, because the computer is a computer. It's gonna pick whatever it thinks is correct, and most of the times it's probably wrong. From my experience, at least, it hasn't been really accurate to the eye and how I envisioned everything to be, as well as exposure levels were just sort of like wonky. Do keep that in mind. But now we're actually gonna switch to the goddamn computer. So I'm gonna try to be talking to you guys like this, or maybe I'll put my face on the bottom or something like that. But I'm pretty excited. Let's get this video on the roadies. Okay, guys, so we have right here, we have the final scan. This is the scan before. What I'm actually gonna do right now is I'm gonna do a duplicate of this, so that we could reference before and after, so that you guys really truly see sort of I know what I'm doing, and why it's very important to sort of know your process and know what you're doing, as opposed to just doing it, because every scene is different. Every scene is going to be either you're going to oversaturate or undersaturate. So like I said, every scene is a really different, so you need to learn what you're doing and to know what you're doing. So right now what we're going to do is I'm actually going to do a duplicate. How do you duplicate this? I forget. I don't even know this program like that. Like, I think I'm just gonna create a virtual copy. There we go. We're gonna create a virtual copy of the original. So we're gonna start editing. I'm not gonna look at the original yet. I'm just gonna edit it the way I would normally edit it. So remember, guys, when I first told you guys, when I first started the video, I told you guys I usually use my presets. The first preset I drop before I do anything is the Portra 400, the Portra preset. It is actually in my store, and it's free, guys. It's totally free. It's in the store on waybetterco.com, so go check that out. And around here, remember when I was saying skin tones, I'm going to push my temp slider to the warmer side, to this side a bit, and I'm going to push the magentas this way a bit. This is just to get the natural tones, the natural warm tones that I'm gonna be applying a bit more in the future. And remember, guys, look at how Ektar is sort of reacting to the skin tones. And obviously this photo is really too much highlights on there, as well as the whites. I'm gonna lower those a bit, and I'm gonna push up the texture just a little bit. I'll say 5, and I'm gonna use the dehaze. the dehaze does help a bit because there was a lot of haze during that day. Haze is sort of like the white, this is how I understand it. I'm going to clarify that. For everybody that's technical, do not take me too seriously. Haze is sort of like, for me, the way it works for me is that white tint to your photos. Like, it's sort of like white, not really like vibrant and saturated. So I'm going to do that as well. But as you guys see from the before and after already, we're already getting those natural skin tones in the skin, which is very important. Remember, I just moved the temp slider to the yellow, and I also moved the tint a little bit to the right. I'm also going to tweak this a bit. I'm going to add a little bit of saturation to the photo, just like not a lot. I kind of go back and forth, so back to the original. And then we're going to go over to the tone curve layer. So the tone curve, I'm going to lower the light again. It's a bit too bright in that scene. And I'm actually going to not lower the highlight. I'm going to keep a bit of the highlights. I love deep shadows, so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to lower the shadows a bit. Just a teensy bit like that. And then after this, I'm going to also drop down to the curved split tones layer. And so to just play around with this, I'm going to bring this to the yellow side as well. Remember, guys, retaining those skin tones, the yellow, the reds, close to that area. I'm going to bring this up just a bit. And I'm also going to bring the highlights to the orangey yellow side a bit here to get those tones in there, as well as, actually, we'll go to the redder side. I'm feeling the redder side. I feel like, yeah, because you could tell over here in his skin tones that you're sort of starting to see that complementary reds in here in his skin tones, and we're also creating the shadows enough that we're not blackening out the whole entire scene. So this is another thing, guys. If you guys want me to make another video on how to create mood as well as emotions, how to trigger emotions out of your edits from your photos, aside from the composition and the photos, comment down below and let me know. But one big trick that one big advice I would actually like to share with you is that never do complete blacks. I mean, not to say never, it is a creative process, but since you guys are very interested in how I edit, I never crush the blacks, because if I also go scan the whole image, it will be really muddy, and in every scene it's pretty impossible to get a pure black tone. It would either be really dark gray or never. I don't think it's ever gonna be pure black. Unless in a deep shadows like over here, but even here it's still not pure black, I'm pretty convinced. So that's a really big thing. I'll also, again, like I said, if you guys want me to touch on that, I will 100% love to touch on that. But other than that, we're back to this photo. I actually just really want to add a little bit more of the U tint. This is practically done for you in what do you call this, in the Portrait preset that I told you guys to download. Is pretty much all in there. I'm actually gonna, it's not all in there, but like most of the adjustments are already done. You just gotta customize it, because I made it for a generic purpose that if you drop it on any photo, if it's a film photo, it will work. Surprisingly enough, I tried dropping it onto a digital photo, it did not work at all. It looked super doo-doo, like super bad. But what I'm also gonna do is I'm gonna bring up the vibrance just a little bit so we get those skin tones popping a bit. So right now, it's looking super good, but I know myself in the sense that I really love deep shadows. So we're gonna lower these shadows a bit, so we add that little griminess, and then we're gonna actually bring up the clarity just a little bit, just a teensy-wincy bit. Texture, I'm gonna bring back the texture. I don't really care about that. I'm gonna actually try to, because I like using these little settings over here to sort of, because like sometimes it's really hard to adjust a specific thing you want to do. For me right now, I want this specific area of the shadow, I do want it to be darker, but I don't want to affect the rest of the image. So I'm just gonna, remember, I clicked on this, and I'm gonna hover over, and I'm going to pull down just a bit, adjusting that. Not a lot that I will lose his eye or the detail in his eye. So as you can see, we still got all the detail in the eye, It's not pure black, but we did define the whole entire image. So I would say this is already a complete thing until my second my second process. I also use Photoshop quite a bit to do a lot of the cleaning in the in here, as well as some of the coloring, because Photoshop does react a bit different than Lightroom in terms of the adjustments. So do keep in mind there's also a lot more options in in Photoshop to help you get better colors. So what I'm gonna do actually is I'm going to skip over. I'm not gonna do a lot of this process because I'm gonna touch on just Lightroom because that's what most people do. But right here, I would post this image right now. I would post it. It is perfect until before I become a perfectionist and try to adjust little things. So with that being said, this is the second copy. Let us see if I am true to myself and true to what my beliefs are in the way I edit. And let's test it out if I know what I'm talking about. Remember guys, this has been uncut until this point, but yeah, so I already have all the adjustments that I've made before on this image. This is the image that I posted. So we're gonna see, this is the one I just did right now. Let's see how similar they are to this one. So to this one, we're gonna click over wait, that's not that one. Okay, it's right here. We're gonna click over here. Let's see. Okay, so this one is definitely a lot flatter. It's definitely a lot flatter, and this one's a lot more defined. This is definitely more for the end goal. I did try to make it end goal, but to make it look similar to this one, it's literally just pushing the shadows down and dropping a bit more yellow in there on the yellow tint. Because remember guys, my second process is in Photoshop. Therefore, I'm not going to overdo it in Lightroom right now. But I am still gonna drop it into Photoshop for you guys, and I will adjust it just a bit more to make it look like how I would really upload it. So right now what we're gonna do, but yeah, these are pretty similar. They're pretty similar, just a lot more deeper yellows, a lot more deeper shadows, and a lot more deeper skin tones. This scene is actually really beautiful. This is the end result. I think I don't want to show you guys about desktop and stuff, so I'm gonna show you guys. I'm just gonna skip this little part, just this little part. Okay, so we're back. As you guys can tell, I'll be 100% genuine with you guys. That one is a lot more yellow, but this is again ties into my second process. This is where I truly tweak the colors, and I'm going to share that process with you. But as you guys can see, this one is a bit more on the favoring skin tones. I actually like this one a lot more. This one is a bit washed out and there's a bit too many highlights, not for my liking. It just makes it not that good, to be honest. I really like this version a lot more. So let's edit it a lot more and drop it into Photoshop so that I'm able to show you guys what I would do after this. So oh yeah, and this is another thing. I actually adjusted my monitor. Ooh, open anyways. All right, awesome. Okay guys, so now I've brought the image over to Photoshop. I actually like this edit a lot more than the original, to be honest with you. Damn. Yeah, I like this one a lot more. Okay, so what I usually do is I usually do the levels layer, but here's a really good trick that you should always apply in all your images, guys. Always create a copy of your image. So this process, again, not a lot of people do have Photoshop, so I'm gonna speed through this, but this is literally what I would do. I'd go on my red tones and I will sort of adjust them. Remember guys, remember when I was telling you guys that that final image was a two-way process? This is a bit more overdone because I tried to get it done in Lightroom for you guys because everybody has Lightroom. But I'm gonna try to mimic the exact same things I would do in this image that I'll do with every other image. So let's see this. So right now we're on our blue tone curves. I will add a little bit of blues in there, and I usually also go for curves layer because I really love the curves layer. And I'll go my reds, and I'm gonna push this down just a tad bit, not too much, just a tad bit. Oh, and guys, here's another trick, okay? Avoid looking at the slider when you're moving the slider. I don't know what it is. If you have the same disease as I am, comment down below, let me know. When I look at the slider, when I look at the little graph, and I look at the adjustment was made on the photo, but if I look at the graph and I don't notice that it's a big adjustment, I feel the need to make a big adjustment. If you're like me, comment down below, let me know, because I feel like I'm actually crazy for that. So I've always avoided looking at the graph and just looking at the image and the adjustments and just moving it up and down to make sure that it's quite accurate, yeah? So right now we're gonna actually go into the exposure. So I do love adding a little bit of offset to my photos, and I also do like adding a little bit of the gamma correction, just a little, not a lot of it. Let's see how much that does. It does add to the shadows a bit, which I love. I'm gonna adjust my brightness a bit. Okay, so here we go. That is perfect right here. That is super perfect. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna group these two, hit the group, and then right after I'm gonna do now a bit of exposure adjustments. So I'm gonna go on my curves layer, and I'm gonna go in this little section over here, luminosity. This allows me to adjust the colors by exposure, so the reds by exposure, and the whole feel of the photo pretty much is going to be adjusted by this graph. So I do want to retain, I did really crush, I over crushed the blacks in here, I will admit. So I'm going to actually grab that little thingy over here. On Photoshop, it's an up and down arrow button, and I'm actually going to go on my greens as well. And I'm going to bring that up a bit, and I'm going to go on my blues, and I'm just going to bring that up a little bit. I'm probably going to lower it down again, but like on a larger scale as opposed to, let me see this. Okay, so right here. Oh, there it is. There it is, guys. Yep, that's it. That's it right there. That is it. That is it right there. But I feel like I want to do something else as well. So let's try to go on the brightness level and brighten that up a wincy bit. The brightness and adjustment, guys, reacts completely different from the other adjustments as well. But yeah, just play around with the sliders. I just know what I want and I know how to get it. So right now, I would normally, after this, I would normally just grab my healing brush tool, and then I would just enlarge it a bit, zoom in there, enlarge my healing brush tool, and I'll usually grab my Wacom tablet now, and I'll just like, you know, paint in. Actually, what I'll just paint in on the layer underneath it, and then you know, over here as well, over here, and all over there. But let's just say, so I'm probably gonna get this question in the comments. So let's just say you wanted to sharpen your image a bit more. So here's a little trick that I've learned. I usually create a stamp visible layer. So it's Control-Alt-Shift-E to create the stamp visible layer. So it's going to create a layer like the original layer with all the adjustments that you have made up to that point. So you click on the layer up top, and then you do that, the stamp visible layer, and it will create everything, like it's pretty much like merging everything without it merging everything. And then I'll pretty much just go up here. I don't usually sharpen my photos because I usually make sure my focus is super tight. And I'll just hit sharpen, and that's gonna do a bit of sharpening. That's literally it. There's nothing really special about my process. And yeah, this is the end result. I am digging this. Like, I think I'm gonna put this one in my portfolio actually. But let's look at the original and let's come back. Oh, there's the original. That is the original. This is the new copy. Which one do I like? I like this one because it was more true to the scene. This one is a little bit more like nice. It's very nice. The tones are really nice and juicy. But I really like this one because it's pretty dark and it's really grungy and it adds to the feel. But like I said again, guys, look at the consistency in the edits because I do know what I am doing, and that is very, very important, guys, that you do understand and you know what you're doing in your edits. It's very, 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 very important. Love that. Yeah, but that's about it, guys. So that's literally about it, guys. That's it for the video. I hope you guys loved it, and I hope you guys learned something from me. Thank you guys again for the 100 likes. If you love this video, drop a like. Let's get this video to 100 likes within 24 hours. I would greatly appreciate it. Thank you guys again. You guys are so incredible. You guys are so awesome. Thank you. It's the boy Shingy as usual. You already know what it is. Follow me on Instagram at shopbyshingy. Check out my portfolio at shopbyshingy.com and check out my brand waybetterco.com. I sell some merch on there that says shoot film and some prints soon. I'll be selling prints as well on there pretty soon. So if you want to support me and support the channel and help me buy cameras and film to do these reviews and all the stuff that I do and use and blah, just make a purchase. I'll really greatly appreciate it. Last but not least, follow and hashtag at WePhotoGods to get featured. Today we hit 700 followers on Instagram. If you want me to check out your work and to potentially repost you to other film photographers in our beautiful community, follow and hashtag at WePhotoGods and you will get featured. And thank you guys again. It's the boy Shingy. You already know what it is, baby. You already know what it is, baby. Yeah. Deuces.